In the heart of combat operations, where every second counts and lives hang in the balance, one essential element remains constant. Soldiers must eat, but this is no ordinary meal service. Imagine the challenge: feeding thousands of hungry troops in remote forest locations under extreme pressure with limited resources and often while facing the threat of enemy action. This is the extraordinary mission of U.S. military cooks, America's unsung heroes who fuel the world's most powerful fighting force. Today, we take you behind the scenes of what military insiders call controlled chaos. The remarkable system that delivers hot, nutritious meals to our brave men and women, sometimes just minutes after they've been in firefights or completed grueling training exercises. This isn't just about food. It's about morale, combat readiness, and American ingenuity at its finest. The importance of military feeding, the relationship between military effectiveness and proper nutrition, dates back thousands of years. As Napoleon Bonaparte famously observed, an army marches on its stomach. This truth remains unchanged in modern warfare. Military studies consistently show that properly fed troops demonstrate up to 40% greater combat effectiveness compared to those operating on empty stomachs or with inadequate nutrition. Beyond the physical benefits, mealtime provides crucial psychological support, a moment of normalcy and comfort in otherwise extraordinary circumstances. Colonel James Harrington, former director of the Army's Food Service program, put it simply: "We are not just feeding bodies, we're feeding spirits." A hot meal tells a soldier they matter, that the country remembers them even in the most remote deployment. The challenge of field feeding has evolved dramatically throughout American military history. During the Revolutionary War, soldiers often relied on basic rations carried in their packs, supplemented by whatever could be foraged from the surrounding countryside. Civil War troops survived primarily on hardtack and salt pork. By World War I, field kitchens began to appear, though they were primitive by today's standards. The modern era of military field feeding began in earnest during World War II, when the Quartermaster Corps developed increasingly sophisticated methods to deliver hot meals to frontline troops. Today's systems represent the culmination of decades of logistical innovation. Modern feeding systems. The modern U.S. military employs several sophisticated systems designed specifically for field feeding operations in remote locations like dense forests or mountainous terrain. The containerized kitchen CK stands as perhaps the most impressive achievement in field feeding technology. This marvel of engineering compresses an entire industrial kitchen capable of preparing meals for up to 800 soldiers into a standard 20-feet shipping container. When deployed, it expands to 3 times its transport size, creating a functional food preparation space complete with serving lines. Technical Sergeant Marcus Wilson, a veteran of multiple deployments, explains the significance. The CK changed everything for us. Before, cooking in the field meant compromising on quality or variety. Now we can prepare virtually anything we could in a permanent facility. The system includes modern convection ovens, steam kettles, growls, and even refrigeration units, all powered by attached generators that can run continuously for days with proper fuel supply. Perhaps most impressively, a well-trained crew can transform the compacted unit into a fully operational kitchen in under 45 minutes. For smaller operations or more mobile units, the Assault Kitchen AK provides feeding capability for up to 250 personnel per meal. Designed to be transported by a single vehicle, the AK prioritizes mobility without sacrificing essential cooking capabilities. The newest addition to the military's feeding arsenal is the Expeditionary Field Kitchen, EFK, which further reduces setup time to just 25 minutes while serving up to 300 soldiers per meal. These systems can be delivered by helicopter to remote locations, ensuring that troops operating deep in forests or other difficult terrain don't miss meals. Each of these systems must overcome unique challenges presented by forest environments, from limited clearings for setup to weather protection and camouflage considerations. The kitchens are designed with specialized ventilation systems that minimize smoke signatures, crucial for operational security in forest settings where smoke can be visible for miles. The people behind the meals. While the equipment impresses, it's the personnel who truly make the military's feeding miracle possible. Army and Marine Corps cooks, officially designated as culinary specialists, MOS 92G, undergo rigorous training at the Joint Culinary Center of Excellence at Fort Lee, Virginia. Their training extends far beyond basic cooking skills. These specialists learned field sanitation, high-volume cooking techniques, equipment maintenance, and even defensive tactics. Because in modern warfare, feeding operations can become targets. Staff Sergeant Maria Gonzalez, who has served as a culinary specialist for 12 years, including 3 combat deployments, describes the unique pressure. Cooking for 1,000 people would be challenging in a perfect restaurant kitchen. Now imagine doing it in mud, rain, sometimes while hearing artillery in the distance with equipment that was just unpacked and assembled hours ago. That's our reality. A typical field kitchen team consists of 8 to 12 culinary specialists working in carefully coordinated shifts. During peak serving periods, military rush hour, these teams may serve upwards of 350 meals per hour. This pace requires meticulous planning and execution. "We're not just cooks," explains Sergeant First Class Thomas Reynolds. "We're logistics experts, sanitation specialists, and morale officers all rolled into one. When a unit has been training hard all day in rough conditions, the quality of the meal we provide makes all the difference to their mindset." The culinary specialist day typically begins long before dawn, often at 3 o'clock or 4 a.m., to ensure breakfast is ready when troops awaken. Their workday might extend 16 hours or more during intensive operations, with brief rest periods between meal services. This grueling schedule continues 7 days a week during deployments, with specialists occasionally rotating through different responsibilities to prevent burnout. Many culinary specialists join the military with little or no cooking experience. Their transformation into professionals capable of feeding thousands under extreme conditions speaks to the quality of their training program, which combines classroom instruction with intensive hands-on practice in simulated field conditions. Feeding America's warriors. The scale of military feeding operations often surprises civilians. During major exercises or deployments, a single Army division may consume over 30,000 individual meals daily. Meeting this demand requires military food service to operate on an industrial scale while maintaining quality and nutrition standards. The numbers can be staggering, notes Command Sergeant Major Robert Johnson, who oversees culinary operations for an Army division. For a typical field exercise involving 5,000 troops, we'll go through approximately 1,500 pounds of meat, 2,000 pounds of fresh vegetables, and 1,000 gallons of beverages daily. Multiply that across every deployed unit worldwide, and you begin to understand the magnitude of this operation. Military feeding isn't limited to American troops. U.S. forces often provide meals for Allied soldiers during joint exercises and operations, requiring culinary specialists to adapt menus to different cultural preferences and dietary requirements. This culinary diplomacy strengthens military alliances and demonstrates American hospitality. Forest environments present unique challenges for meal planning. Dense tree cover can complicate supply deliveries, requiring menus adaptable to potential delays. The physical demands of operating in forested terrain, often involving steep hills and difficult footing, mean soldiers require particularly calorie-dense meals to maintain energy levels. Logistical miracle. The journey of food from American soil to a remote forest deployment represents one of the military's most impressive logistical achievements. It begins at massive supply depots located throughout the United States and at strategic overseas locations. From there, rations and supplies travel via ships, planes, trucks, and sometimes helicopters to forward operating bases. The final leg often involves tactical vehicles navigating difficult terrain to reach troops in the field. The supply chain management required to ensure that fresh ingredients reach a forest training exercise in Korea or Germany is mind-boggling, notes Lieutenant Colonel Patricia Davis, who specializes in military logistics. We're tracking hundreds of thousands of meal components moving through multiple countries, often across challenging terrain and in changing weather conditions. The military employs sophisticated software systems to track every component, ensuring that the right ingredients reach the right kitchen at the right time. This precision allows culinary specialists to prepare menus weeks in advance, knowing exactly what resources will be available. Forest environments add complexity to this already challenging process. Supply routes must navigate between trees, across streams, and around natural obstacles. Weather conditions like heavy rain can transform forest floors into mud that impedes vehicle movement. Military logisticians must account for these variables when planning delivery schedules. Temperature control presents another critical challenge, particularly for perishable items. The military employs specialized refrigerated transport containers, insulated storage systems, and in extreme cases, portable ice production facilities to maintain food safety standards from origin to serving line. This complex supply chain requires redundancies at every level. Multiple supply routes are established, backup food options are always available, and emergency rations are positioned strategically throughout the operational area. This resilience ensures that even if primary systems fail, troops will never miss meals. Feeding during the rush. When thousands of hungry soldiers descend on a field kitchen simultaneously, often after completing exhausting training exercises, military cooks face their greatest challenge. This rush hour requires extraordinary coordination and efficiency. We call it controlled chaos. Laugh, Sergeant James Miller, a culinary specialist with experience feeding troops during large-scale NATO exercises. It's like the busiest restaurant you can imagine, multiplied by 10 and set up in the middle of nowhere. The process follows a carefully choreographed sequence. Soldiers approach the serving area in units, moving through lines where culinary specialists operate specific stations, proteins, starches, vegetables, desserts. Quality control specialists monitor food temperatures continuously, ensuring safety standards remain uncompromised despite the pace. Supporting the main serving line, additional specialists constantly resupply food from cooking areas, maintain cleanliness, and manage the inevitable bottlenecks that develop during peak periods. Most impressively, this entire operation might be conducted under blackout conditions during nighttime exercises with culinary specialists working by red-filtered light to maintain operational security. The timing of meals in forest training environments often follows combat rhythms rather than conventional mealtimes. Units may rotate through feeding areas based on operational schedules, requiring culinary specialists to maintain hot food service for extended periods. During major exercises, some field kitchens operate continuously, serving meals around the clock to accommodate different training schedules. Inclement weather adds another dimension to the challenge. Rain, snow, and high winds are common in forested environments, requiring additional protective measures around food service areas. Culinary specialists construct improvised shelters, drainage systems, and windbreaks to ensure meal service continues regardless of conditions. If you agree that our military culinary specialists deserve more recognition for their incredible work, type respect in the comments. Nutrition in the field. Military nutritionists work closely with culinary specialists to ensure field meals meet the extraordinary energy demands of soldiers operating in harsh conditions. The average infantry soldier might burn 4,000 to 6,000 calories daily during intense field operations, more than twice the caloric needs of an average civilian. Modern military meals are scientifically designed to provide this energy while remaining appetizing. A typical dinner might include lean protein, complex carbohydrates, vegetables, fruit, and a dessert option, all meeting strict nutritional guidelines. We've moved far beyond the days of mystery meat and bland sides, explains Major Susan Thompson, a military nutritionist. Today's combat rations are designed with performance in mind. We understand that food isn't just fuel, it's a critical component of military effectiveness. The military has also adapted to changing dietary requirements among service members. Vegetarian options now appear regularly on field menus, and culinary specialists receive training in preparing meals that accommodate various religious and health-related dietary restrictions. This nutritional science extends to meal timing and composition. Morning meals emphasize slow-release carbohydrates to fuel sustained activity. Midday meals focus on balanced nutrition that won't cause energy crashes.